Hello, my name is Alex and I'm the creator of the WikiPL.com website. I'm going to go over a small demonstration about the functionality of this website. WikiPL is a wiki with an interface similar to Wikipedia and is supported from the same software that is called MediaWiki. The difference is that in WikiPL, every article is a function or class or any other definition of the Python programming language. So if you are a Python enthusiast, as I am, then you might be interested to take a look at it. Let's start by creating a Python function that calculates the arithmetic mean of an array. We're going to name it mean. We're going to create the article, and this is how it looks, a WikiPL article. There is a section for the code. Let's add some code. It has, if we click 3 times in the text area for code, then we have a code-friendly environment. Let's add the parameter array. Let's calculate the mean. That is the length of the array, the sum of the array, divided with the length of the array. And we want the result to be a float. Let's print something. Print the mean of this array is mean. And let's return the result. Return mean. Sorry for my mistakes. Now, let's write a unit test. Unit tests are functions that check the validity of some other functions. A unit test for the mean could be that the mean of 3.4.5 equals with 4. Now, let's see what will happen if we change the code. And instead of this, let's add a +1 here. Then we'll see that this page is not edited and we get a warning because the unit test failed. What we can do is we can change the unit test in order to give a more informative message. For example, we can say that if the mean is not 4, in this case, then return mean failed to calculate the mean of 3.4.5. Otherwise, return true. Now, let's see what will happen if we change the code. Instead of mean, let's make it +1. Then we can see the message that we defined to return. So you can make your own verbose messages. Now let's play a little bit more and let's write some parameters for this function. Parameters, we can define some parameters in order to be able to run this function from the website. And this is how we do it. This is the name of the function, of the parameter, array. This is a type. Eval means anything that can be evaluated as a Python expression. A value can be empty, we don't want any predefined value. And let's write a label. Insert a Python list here. Now we'll save it. And we have a page with this HTML form that we just created. What we can do now is we can fill here parameters, a Python list, for example 6, 7, 8, and we can download the code. The code has just been downloaded and let's go and run it. I'll create a directory here. I will move the file where it has been downloaded. I will untar it. And by writing Python and the name of the function, mean.py, I got the result. So that means that that doesn't have anyone to learn any Python at all in order to be able to execute a function. Now let's play a little bit more with this. What another thing that I can do is I can execute on remote computer by just pressing this button. I will press it and we can see that this function is executed. The question is where this has been executed. In my personal page here, I can define by edit a special section that is called SSH, and I can write host equals, for example, example.com, and username equals test, password equals something, and a directory where I want this to run. For example, /run WikiPL. Now, if I save the page here, then these elements will not be saved in the database of the MediaWiki, but will be saved in a different database, encrypted. It will not be showed in the history or in the log or anywhere. It will be hidden. Now, every time this user executes something by pressing the button execute on remote computer that we showed here, this code will be submitted via SSH in this remote computer and will be executed there. A third way of executing is by using the execute on browser. Let's write again 678, and let's execute on browser. We are doing that. By doing that, our code is converted to JavaScript and is executed on the browser by a library that is called byjamas, and this is the result. Nice. Now let's play a little bit more. There is a Python library that I can check out by just copying pasting this command. I will remove what I've just written here and I will export this library. Now what I will do is I will run Python here. I will import WikiPL. Now I'm connected to the wikipl.com website, and by typing from WikiPL import min, the function min is important to my namespace, and I can call it min, for example, of this. And as you can see, this function has been downloaded from the website. So a function that's been edited by many people from a collaborative can be imported in my user space. Let's continue playing and let's create another function. This function, I will call it variance. I hope you remember what that is. I'm creating the variance function and I am editing the code. So, variance, if I remember correctly, of an array, I have to find the mean, and the variance is that for every array, for every element in the array, the variance is the mean that has become calculated minus x, has to be a square here, and I'm calculating the mean of this expression, and this is the variance. Let's print it. Print the variance of array is var, and let's return this value. Now, what we have seen here is that I don't have to import anything in order to be able to call another code that is another article of WikiPL through another article, through this article. I'm saving. And now I can go back here and I can import this function in my namespace from WikiPL import variance. And I can call it variance, for example. And here we can see all the calls that are happening. And 2 is the variance of my array that I gave at the beginning. What else we can do here? First of all, we can define some nice documentation by using this rich wiki formatting. For example, I can hear this function returns some spelling mistakes here, the variance of an array. Another thing that I can do is that I can define a redirect to another method. That means that some method can have more than one name. For example, can be average. And this function average can be a redirect. So I have to delete all this text here and substitute it with a redirect. And I can say that this is a direct to the function min. So anytime that I'm using average is exactly the same as if I'm using min. So either if I go here, I can say from WikiPL import not min, for example, but average. And I can use the average as it was the function min, for example, here. The same thing I can do with another function, for example, variance. If I go here in the code, then instead of min here, I can use average. And it will be exactly the same. So this is the functionality of the code that I would like to show you. Some additional things that someone can say here is that there are some extra functionality in order to prevent vandalization. So anonymous and recently signed in users can create new articles and can edit only the development code section of an article. So this section here can be edited by anyone. It's not tested, it's not parsed at all, anyone can edit. It's not just to have the ability from an anonymous user to add his comment. Now, if you are a recently signed user and you edit this section and you edit 3 non-trivial and contributing edits, then you are promoted to a user that can edit all the other sections. This is the way to prevent vandalism. So this is the website. It aims to be a collaborative project where people can submit code, and this code will be reviewed, documented, published, validated, and executed. This is a part of the functionality. There are more things that I can do, but I don't have the available time. If you are interested, please take a look here. There is a mailing list, and this is my email. I will be very happy to receive some comments from you, and I will be even more happy if you will be able to use it, contribute it, and have some feedback. Thank you and have fun.